Hello, 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 hello.
theme and start editing. If I were starting from scratch, I would want to navigate up here to widgets and find my alert box within the widgets menu and add it. And you can find a lot of other great widgets here too, such as stream labels, stream goals. We've got our hype cup now. You can add store redemption alerts. You can add Capagen, contest giveaways, chat box, you name it. It's in the widgets menu. But for now, since I'm working in a super theme, I'm just going to stick with the layout that they've already provided me. So these are all labeled. I'm just going to find the one that says alert box right here and click on it. Now this has brought up my alert variations menu. From here I can choose to uncheck and exclude certain events from being triggered in my alert box. Or I can go in and I can customize each of these alerts and even create alert variations, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start within the subscriber alert. This right here is your default alert. What a default alert is it is what's going to be triggered when there are no variations set up for an alert and no particular parameters are met within a variation. So at this point, anybody subscribes, anybody gets this alert, this is my default alert. And I'm going to go in and click it on the emulator so that you can see it. At this point, I think this is a great alert box right here and click on it. Now this has brought up my alert variations menu. From here I can choose to uncheck and exclude certain events from being triggered in my alert box. Or I can go in and I can customize each of these alerts and even create alert variations, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go ahead and start within the subscriber alert. This right here is your default alert. What a default alert is it is what's going to be triggered when there are no variations set up for an alert and no particular parameters are met within a variation. So at this point, anybody subscribes, anybody gets this alert, this is my default alert. And I'm going to go in and click it on the emulator so that you can see it. At this point, I think this is a great place to work on some variation settings. some variations for my higher tiered subscribers. Clicking on variation settings, you can see that I don't currently have any. Just click on add new variation and we can get to work. Now this template that has popped up here is based upon the default alert settings that you've already created within those alerts. So anything that we've already set as far as the image that's going to pop up, the layout of the alert, the volume, the message, the duration, the text-to-speech, etc., that is going to be copied into this new variation. So we're going to have to go in and adjust all of this information. I'm going to make a variation for my tier 2 subs. And in my variation parameters, I'm going to choose subscription tier. It looks like you can also do months subscribed, which is very cool. Exact would be the condition, and then $9.99 would be the tier that I want to select. And I want to select some new media for this. I want to grab an image of my tier 2 emote and put that in there. And at this point, I think this is fine for a variation. I'm going to go ahead and save this. So now I have a tier 2 sub variation. I'm going to create another variation for my tier 3 subs. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. Go and indicate my variation parameters. I'm going to set a new image. And I'm going to save that variation. Now, when I have somebody come subscribe at either a regular $4.99 sub or a Twitch Prime sub, they're going to get this default alert. And if somebody comes and subscribes at a tier 2 sub or tier 3 sub, they're going to get a special alert variation. So that's how you set those up. Okay, now that we've talked about how to set up alert variations and also have those alert variations work alongside your default alerts, let's talk about how to set up random alerts. So for example, let's just say that whenever anybody subscribes to my channel, I want a different photo to pop up. Let's go ahead and stay within our subscriber settings and just add those variations. So for instance, I'm just going to name this sub1 and make my parameters months subscribed at least 1 and set an image for that. Let's just say I want it to be this image. I'm going to go ahead and save that variation. Now let's make a new variation with the exact same parameters. Months subscribed, at least 1, and we're going to change the image of that too. So you can see that now that I've created that new variation, this sub1 variation I just created grayed out. And that's because they are exactly the same parameters. If I did not select to pick this alert randomly, it would choose the most recent one that I created, or I would need to delete this one so that it would go back and use this previous alert that I made. What I want though is for it to pick randomly. So I'm going to go ahead and select pick an alert randomly when more than 1 matches. And that's how you can have random alerts working right alongside your different alerts that have particular parameters. So now if we save and go to the event emulator and just emulate a subscriber event, you'll see that different images are popping up. And you will also notice that this is not the same image as the default alert. The default alert is now not being activated as it's taking its alerts from the variations. So since the default alert was set up to alert whenever somebody came and subbed for at least 1 month, now that we have variations for somebody who comes and subs for at least 1 month, it's going to pick strictly from the variations and not use the default alerts at all. And that can be very confusing sometimes for people. They'll go and they'll change their default alert settings and they won't understand why it's not saving or why the alert isn't popping up in the emulator. And it's usually because there's a variation created that has the exact same parameters as the default. And you'll see that once we delete these 2 variations that have the same parameters for the default, and go and emulate the subscriber event again, it goes right back to the default setting. So as you can see, it is super simple to customize your alerts and create alert variations and random variations using your alert box in the Stream Elements Overlay Manager. Once you have everything customized to your liking, all you've got to do is click Launch Overlay, copy the URL, and paste it into a new browser source in your broadcasting software with the correct dimensions, and you are good to go. So that's about it. I really hope customized to your liking. All you've got to do is click Launch Overlay.
Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is Onset, and today I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up your stream element tipping page and all of its unique features. Let's get right into it. The first thing we have is the tipping page title. Of course, this is straightforward. It's the title of your tipping page. I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up your stream element tipping page and all of its unique features. Let's get right into it. The first thing we have is the tipping page title. Of course, this is straightforward. It's the title of your tipping page. The second thing we have is the PayPal email. Got to make sure to enter in your PayPal email correctly because that's where all the tips will be redirected to. Now the currency is the currency matching your PayPal. I keep mine as USD to keep things simple. Keep in mind that if you set your currency to something different than your PayPal, you'll have to deal with conversion rates. And here's the best part. If you use StreamElements tipping service, it is 100% free. StreamElements takes no cut from any money you earn. The next thing we have is the minimum amount. You can set this to whatever you'd like. You just have to remember that your viewers will not be able to tip under this amount. The suggested amount is just a placeholder amount that can be viewed right here. It's just a little grayed out number right here. Now going back to force users to log in. This is actually a method to prevent fraud